3, 2.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a pretty special edition of Hail Yes, you could call it. Tony Garcia, Michigan beat writer for the Free Press, Reiner Sabin, our Big Ten insider. We are sitting slightly precariously on a ledge at the Rose Bowl. This is where Michigan just beat Alabama 27-20 in overtime to go to the national championship. You say that sentence out loud, it really kind of hits home. Wow. Down 7, final minute, gotta have it. Big comeback by JJ. Then another touchdown in overtime, a defensive stop. Reiner, that was a big one.
Yeah, I mean, it revealed really the true character of this team, which is, I mean, it's overcome a lot of obstacles, some self-inflicted, but, you know, again, even in this game, some self-inflicted mistakes, and they overcame them, and it was kind of it encapsulated this Michigan team, really, you know, from beginning to end. I mean, just, you know, having to, again, have the tough, you know, circumstances at the beginning, and they get up, then, you know, they get down again, and it looks like things are kind of slipping away, and then all of a sudden they rally in this 4-minute drive, you know, with the final 4 minutes, a 3-minute drive where they go 75 yards. They're led by their key players, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, Roman Wilson. Then they get to overtime, and Corum is the one who scores a touchdown, and then it's this Michigan defense, which you know, basically back in 2019 when they played Alabama the first time, they were not prepared to play this kind of team. This defense showed that it's SEC caliber and it's ready for national championship.
Yeah. Clearly, I mean, the defense outplayed Alabama's offense.
Yeah.
The offense outplayed Alabama's defense. And I think you could almost say Jim Harbaugh and his staff just outcoached Nick Sabin and his staff. The only reason in my mind it was this close, Reiner, is because of those special teams that nearly cost Michigan, right? A muff punt in the first quarter sets up Alabama's first touchdown. Then you got a missed extra point, right, which sort of changed a 3-point game versus a 4-point game. It really mattered. It ended up mattering in that fourth quarter. And then you got a missed kick, a missed 48-yarder by Turner in the fourth quarter as well. Then you got Alabama hitting 2 50-yard field goals. It really felt like special teams. That unsung, like that third part of the game is going to be the reason, but it wasn't. And the reason it was not too much to overcome. You talk about the defense. How about J.J. McCarthy? 2 pick-sixes last year, much maligned, ton of pressure. He just said it was the best game, biggest game of his life. 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, nearly threw that pick on the first play. And he said once he saw that he got a new life, he's like, oh, I can breathe. Let's go.
I mean, and it's, you know, again, for this Michigan program where it was, again, after the 2020 season, 2-4. I mean, there's a lot of talk about, like, what's Jim Harbaugh's, you know, tenure really look like. I mean, it kind of looked like a failure at that time. You know, it could have beat Ohio State. They come back, they beat Ohio State, they won 3 straight Big Ten titles. Then people were saying, well, they can't really, you know, finish the job in the CFP on the national stage, and they can't beat an SEC level team. Well, here they are. They just took down Alabama, came back on them, and then, you know, had what it took to defeat them in overtime. Really came up with the big play with, again, Corum's run, and then, you know, a sack, and then holding him 2 yards short of the end zone on 4th down. Jalen Milroe stopped, and it was like a Hollywood ending.
We're in here. Here we are in LA, right? You couldn't have written this type of script, and they all said it, right? I asked them, I'm like, what is the call? It's 4th and goal. You're on the 3-yard line. The national championship is on the line. What do you say to one another? And they're like, 4's getting the ball. Like, it was their entire game plan. Like, we all thought it was kind of Jalen Milroe. I asked Michael Barrett, 6-year senior captain. I'm like, all right, now what was the game plan? He goes, stop 4. Just stop 4. And he's like, all year long, when it came down to it, when there was a pressure moment, they thought it was that Milroe kept it, right? And so Minter calls up a man defense, little jailhouse blitz, and it's Josiah Stewart, a transfer who sort of brings the final piece, one of the many transfers who played an essential role in a Michigan team, Reiner, that is 14-0. No Michigan football team has ever won 14 games in a season. Before the last couple of years, none had won 13. They continue to do things that have never been done.
I mean, you know, again, generally they've been a strong a team that executes. I mean, obviously they had the special teams mishaps in this game, and they didn't play a totally crisp game. But when the chips were down and they had to get it going, like they found something deep within themselves to be able to muster what it took to overtake Alabama, and it was a liberating feeling. I think the Michigan players are going to go into the national championship game with the monkey off their back and just kind of free and loose and able to kind of know that they belong on the stage. Like, there's no questions anymore that Michigan football is back, that they don't have any doubts left really as far as that's concerned. And regardless of even what happens in the national championship game, they've proven that. But this is obviously their goal all along. It's been the goal since Blake Corum went on that court in Chrysler Center and said, we're going to go win a national championship and go down in history. And here we are, and it's about to happen, maybe, for them, and they'll at least have that opportunity.
He's standing on crutches the day he says that phrase after he had gotten surgery here in LA, right? 365 later, he scores the game-winning touchdown. A lot of poetry, a lot of fitting things that happened today. Biggest win in Michigan football, maybe not quite history, this century, no question.
Yeah, absolutely, this century. Yeah.
And now tickets booked. We're all booked in Houston, so that's where we'll head, and we hope you'll join us. You know where to keep it locked. Freak.com. Hail yes for Reiner. I'm Tony. Thanks for watching.